Hey guys, in this video we're gonna have a look at how I made these. So I'm using a footage. I will put the link in the description to the same footage if you're interested in. So I have imported it into After Effects. Okay, so now it's time to track the camera. Click it, and first of all we're gonna change the duration of the footage. So we're gonna make it something like 10 maybe, and hit OK. And then we're going to split it because we're going to delete the remaining part. So I'm going to split it and hit delete to delete the remaining part. So here we go. And now it's time to select the footage and click track camera, and it will track the motion. Go to advanced and click detailed analysis. It will track the motion, and we are going to track it with After Effects. Then we're going to export the tracking data into Blender, which is pretty exciting because I will show you how to do it. So now motion is tracked, and as you can see, it says no depth from a tripod pan. So it's actually not a scene that like move and make. So I'm gonna select some of the trackers, and I'm gonna right click and create a solid and camera. So I'm reselecting them, the perfect location where we have to add something. So here we go, we have edited this, and now it's time to export this data. Well, in order to export it, we need a script called After Effects composition into Blender script, and I will put the link to the script in the description. You just need to run or install the script in After Effects. So I'm just gonna play the video and see how does it turns out. So let's see. Okay, so I think it's totally fine and it's tracked perfectly. And now it's time to select your clip, all of the stuff, and then go to file script and then click export composition data and browse and add a location. So I'm just gonna name it something like motion track and click export. Now the data is exported, and by the way, I'm going to put the link to the script if you're interested in the same script that I'm using. It's free. Okay, now it's time to launch Blender and see what we can do with the Blender. Okay, so for Blender I have also an add-on which will be also in the description of the video. So for example, I'm just gonna go to file and import composition data. So I'm just going to the location where I exported the script file or the JSON file, and as you can see, it's imported everything, literally the camera, the solid, and the footage. So in fact, we don't need this background plan, which is big, which is actually representing the footage. So first we're gonna make the rendering setting the same. So in order to make them the same as the footage, let's go to the details of the video, its resolution and frame rate. So let's check it. Okay, so its resolution is 2560 and 1440. So go to output and make the same resolution as the footage is, and also make the frame rate the same way as the footage have, which is, let me just check it again. Okay, it's 2560 the frame rate and frame height, and I'm gonna make it the same way because if it's not the same, it's not gonna work perfectly. I'm also gonna make the frame rate to something like 23.98 frame per second, and I'm going to delete this background layer. So select it and delete it, delete this one also, and go to camera view, play it. Okay, so now select the camera and go to the background image, click add image, go to movie clip and click open. So I'm just going to videos and gonna go to a Pixoft. I have saved the file, sorry, I have saved the video, and now the video will be loaded into our camera. So I'm just going to increase the opacity of the video to see it perfectly. So now if you play it, as you can see, it's perfectly sticking into it, and this is what we want. It's pretty simple, you know. Okay, as it moves, select the plane, and we're going to change the transform orientation to local and scale it down like that, and move it on z-axis, and then rotate it on z-axis like that, and then move it into x-axis like that, and then we are going to rotate it on y-axis like that, and actually rotate. I'm actually aligning the rotation of the plane with the building, so try to do it in the local orientation because it's very good and it can be handled from every angle. So I'm just aligning it with the building. I'm just moving it around. And I'm going to scale it down like that. I'm going to rotate it maybe like that. I'm just going to move it up to here and try to rotate it. Okay, so I'm just going to edit mode, select the downward edge and then move it down like that. I'm just trying to align it with the building so it just look realistic when you do that. I'm just gonna move it into x-axis and I'll go to vertex selection, select the top vertex and then move it into x-axis like that. And then what we're going to do, we are gonna move these also to that axis like that. And okay, as you can see, the building is like from a side view, so it's actually um, very different from the plan. So we're going to edit the plan as the same as the building is. So I'm just going to go to edit mode. First we're going to save the file, because if you don't save your work, it's going to mess up, because Blender sometimes crashes. So I'm going to save the file and name it something like command.blend and then hit save Blender file. It will save it. Okay, so now I'm going to go to edit mode of the plan, and as you can see, it's not moving the same way as the building. I'm going to select the top vertex and move it down like that, and maybe we can like slide it and just align it with the line of the building, the windows of the building actually. And I'm also going to align it with this one. I'm going to move it down like that maybe. And okay, I'm going to make the ending frame to something like 230. And okay, it's sticking into the building, and this is what we want. Maybe we can edit the vertex, or we can also move these one like that, so it actually matches the line of the building right there, and it's fine. Okay, so I think it's perfectly done, and it's super easy to do it. So now the fun part comes in, which is actually making some sort of a model from Sketchfab and then use it in Blender. It's a little bit tricky, so let's do it. So I have found this model from Sketchfab, which is this trophy model, and I will also put the link to the same model if you are interested in. And I'm also downloading this spray paint can from Sketchfab. Okay, so now it's time to import this model. Well, let me just go to File, Import, and click GLB. Go to where you have the spray, and it's right here. Select it and hit Alt P and clear the parent, because usually when you import the model from Sketchfab, it have a parent which is an empty. Okay, so I'm just gonna move it down here like that and move it towards here. I'm gonna go to camera view and I'm going to rotate it like that, and as you can see, it's perfectly working, and this is what we want. And now what we're going to do, we're going to go to the file for the trophy. It's actually a blend file. I have added this little flag into it, so I will also put my own model that I have changed and altered, because in the original model there was no cloth or something like that, so I just model it and did this one. Okay, I'm just going to flip it like that and rotate it on y-axis on 180 degree, and I'm gonna move it down like that, so actually matches the second side of it as something like that. Okay, that's fine. And now it's time to join these three geometries, and so in order to do that, we're gonna go to y-axis and I'm going to select this flag. Maybe I'm going to move this vertex down a little bit, so it adds a little bit of detail like that, which looks perfectly nice, and this is what we want. So I'm going to select this one and this and this, and I'm gonna hit Ctrl J to join them. Now it's time to go to the other Blender file, and maybe we can move these around, or maybe we can edit this plan if you want. And we're going to just gonna go and open up a new window, because we can't work in the same window. I just want to move around in the other window, so I'm just gonna select it and extrude it backward like that, and then move it into x-axis like that. I'm just going to add a depth into the building so it looks 3D and it looks perfect when you do that. I'm going to select this face and I'm going to delete it like that, and I'm going to go to edge selection mode, select this edge, this one, and this one, and this one, and I'm going to click Alt E, extrude edges, and then hit S to scale it up. It's actually for holdout material, okay, which actually masks out everything behind that. I'm just gonna go into top view and I'm going to grab it backward like that, which actually adds a little bit of depth into the building, which looks super realistic. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna copy this model by hitting Control C, and I'm gonna close this one, and I'm going to go to the file, Control V, and paste it like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click cursor to select it and then select the trophy model, selection to cursor, so it will snap it into where you have the cursor in. So I'm going to rotate it, but I'm going to select the other plane and hit Control C, copy rotation. Well, this is an add-on which actually copies the location and rotation from other objects. It's inbuilt in Blender called copy menu attribute. Okay, so it's actually oriented the same way as we want it to be. I'm just aligning it with the perfect angle, because if you do have a perfect perspective, it's gonna look realistic. So try to rotate it, move it if possible, and it's totally up to you how you want the model to be in the scene. And yeah, this is nice. Okay, I'm gonna make cavity so I can see the edges of the model clearly, and I'm going to slightly rotate it like that, and I'm gonna move around like that. Okay, so it's fine. Now the fun parts come in. I'm just gonna slightly rotate it, which is animating this trophy model. So I'm just going to grab it down like that. Maybe it's moved like that. You know, this is what we want to achieve, and let's just do it right away. I'm just gonna move to frame number 70 and click I, and then go to 1 frame and the first frame, and then just like animate this like that. And as you can see, it's moved very slowly. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna grab these vertex, sorry, not vertex, keyframe near the first one, and what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna move it a little bit up, maybe like that, and move forward in the timeline and move it down like that. So it's actually added a momentum, like, you know, it's pop up, like, you know, it just feels like good when something moves like that. And you just play around with the timing of the keyframes, which is essential for animating something. So as you can see, it's very near to one another. So I'm just gonna separate this model. I'm just gonna grab them near the first one, and if you move this up, you can see it clearly. It's pop up, and this is what we want. And if you have a look at these, I'm just going to animate it to frame number 120 or 130. It will move forward in the 3D scene like that, and it will move forward like that. Maybe we can add a little bit of rotation into this, and if we play it, it's moving very, very straightforward. And I think if we add some sort of rotation into it, it will look interesting. So I'm going to that frame, and I'm just gonna rotate it, and it will automatically add a keyframe because I have turned on the auto keyframing. I'm just making it from scratch and showing you everything how things going to look like, because I don't want to miss a point, because you people always comment on stuff that you missed a point, so I just don't want it. So yeah, you can also do a question in comment. Okay, so here's I'm rotating this object like that, and maybe I can sort of change, you know, the rotation at the ending frame. Just do whatever I do in my 3D scene, because I'm actually making the scene from scratch. I have not planned it what it's going to look like, but I'm randomly moving the object to look it perfect. So I'm just going to move this vertex slightly so it stays at the same place. I just duplicated the previous vertex, sorry, keyframe, and yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so it's rotating like that, and okay, that's fine. So when it moves, and yeah, okay, that looks good, I think. You can alter the animation if you want, because it's totally up to you. You can also add a cloth seam to the two clothes as I added in the final, but I'm just going to show you how I made the smoke simulation. So first we gotta animate those bottles because they have to move, and what we're going to do, I'm gonna select the first bottle and I'm gonna move it out of the frame, and I'm going to rotate it like that. I'm just gonna move forward in the timeline, bring it back to the frame, and I'm gonna move it near the trophy is. And when you move forward, as you can see, we gotta go to frame 90, and well, let's see what it's going to do. And I think we're gonna rotate it slightly, move it towards the trophy, and we are going to move it up slightly, and we are gonna rotate it. You know, I'm just going to material view and see how things looks like. So I'm going to rotate it on, y-axis like that. So when it moves, it's rotate, which is looking very good. But now the funnest part come. We're going to animate it for the smoke simulation to happen. So first it's on that spot, and then when it moves forward, something like 100, and it moves up, then it's rotate like that, and then it's going to rotate like that. I'm actually animating these for the smoke simulation to happen. So as you can see, if we change it to local, the hole in the spray is not facing, and now it's facing it, and this is where the spray is going to spray some sort of smoke. So I'm just trying to do this, and as you can see, I'm rotating it the way it have to be rotated. So it moving like that. I'm just gonna move it to that axis, and when it moves, it does look okay. Okay, so now go to the ending frame, or maybe frame 203. It moves like that, rotate, and then go out of the frame. Go to the ending frame and kick this out like that. So it comes up, rotate slightly, go to the position where it must be for the smoke, spray the smoke, and then go out of the frame. Now it's time to duplicate it for the second one. I'm going to delete the animation from the second one, and then I'm gonna rotate it like that, and when it moves the same way as the first bottle. I'm just gonna move it towards the trophy, and I'm gonna just move it up and try to rotate it like that. And okay, that looks good, and we need to rotate it. So I'm gonna rotate it on y-axis like that, so the hole in the bottle faces the cup where it's going to spray some sort of smoke. And yeah, this is going to be interesting when, okay, so it goes to that location on frame number 130, and then move to 100, the frame 157, where it's going to spray some sort of smoke. Or maybe we can move these to 100 at 1, and when it moves, it goes, okay, so it's frame number 130 and 157. So I'm just gonna go to 157 and grab this keyframe to here. So both of them will have the same sort of animation while they spray the smoke, and then move along and just rotate it and try to move this out of the frame like that. and yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now I think the animation is totally done. Now it's time for some simulation to happen, the smoke simulation actually, which is pretty good to do, you know. So I'm just gonna go up to the first frame, and I'm going to close the second window. Okay, so now it's time to select the bottle. Go to the frame where we have to spray some sort of smoke, which is 130. Here we go. I'm just gonna go to edit mode, select some of the faces in the hole, and click Shift A, cursor to select it, and then Shift A. I'm gonna add an icosphere here, and I'm going to scale it down like that, and then select the bottle and shade it smooth. Then select the bottle maybe, and click Control P to parent the icosphere to the object. And as you can see, the icosphere does move with it. This is what we want. Now it's time to add the domain maybe, and I'm just gonna click Shift, Shift A, cursor to select it, Shift A, and add a cube. So actually, this cube will act like a domain object, and yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna also parent this with the bottle. So go to wireframe, select the icosphere, scale it slightly up, and then apply the scale, by hitting Control A. And then select the domain object, go to its properties, and under viewport display, make it a bound so we will not be able to see it. So it bothers me a lot. And yeah, okay. It does move with the bottle. And now it's time to select the icosphere, go to particle system, add an emitter particle where it emits the particle. Okay. So now the frame starts with 130 and ends at 157, and I'm gonna make the frame start to 130 and the ending to 157, and then what we're going to do, we're gonna play it, and then we're gonna turn on it's, as you can see, it's emitting some sort of particles. I'm gonna make the gravity very low, and when we just I'm gonna make the starting frame right now to 130, because I just don't want to start it again and again and again and play it again and again, which just bothers me. Okay, so when we play it, as you can see, it throws those particles like that. We don't want it to be like that, so go to velocity of these particles and make the normal velocity to something like 0.2, and we're going to make the starting frame to 130, so we will be able to preview it faster. So as you can see, it does move down, which we don't really want. So now we're going to fix it. Well, we're going to make the y velocity to something like 1 minus minus 0.2, which actually grab us to the result we want. So I'm gonna make it minus 0.67, or maybe we can make it minus 0.9, and then play it, and I think that's fine, and okay, that looks good, I think. Okay, and now go to select the trophy and add a collision into it, so the particle will interact with it, and they will collide with the trophy, and this is what we want. Okay, so basically we're just trying to select the icosphere, go to its particle settings, make the normal to 1 maybe, and let's see what we get. So I think 1 is not a good number. I'm gonna make it 0.6, which is a good number. Yeah, that's fine. This is what we want. Or maybe we can play around with the value and make it something like 0.3. It's totally up to you how you want the smoke to look like. So I'm not forcing you to do a special value here, so you can play around with it. Okay, so now go to the physics tab and add a fluid to the icosphere, and then make it a flow object, which is actually a smoke. Change the geometry to, first of all, go to flow source, make it a particle system, and add this particle system into it. So select the cube, add it a fluid, and add it a flow. Sorry, we're going to make it a domain object. Here we go. And now if we just go scroll down and make the frame start at 137 and ends at 157. Oh, sorry, I made it 137. Sorry for that. I'm just gonna change it later on. I'm gonna make the gravity to a very low value here, and maybe we can play it so it's not a huge amount of smoke. I'm gonna make the ending to something like very high, so we will be able to see how the smoke is going to interact. Okay, why I don't really know why it's doing it. I'm gonna select the icosphere and change from geometry to inflow, and let's play it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to scale the domain object, and I think I'm gonna scale it in object mode, and I'm gonna move it to y-axis like that. Okay, but I don't know why it's moving with it. I think I have messed up the frame start and ends, you know. I think I'm gonna make the ending to 180, so it's going to fix the problem. Oh shit, it's not actually fixing it. It's actually, I don't know. I'm just gonna select the icosphere and I'm going to a particle system. I'm gonna make the ending to 180. I'm just playing around with the values because I'm not sure what value is perfect. I'm gonna bake the particle system, and let's try it now. I'm going to go to the domain object, and I'm gonna make I'm gonna make the resolution a little bit higher, which is 100, and I'm going to make it all and is resumable, and click back all, and let's see what we get. It's baking actually. Let's wait for these to finish because we will be able to preview it. So it's actually going to 180, and let's see what we get here. Okay, so I'm just gonna play it. Okay, it's moving some. Okay, it's not a dynamic simulation. I don't know why it doesn't look the same way, but I'm trying to make it perfect, you know. Okay, so let's change the frame start or int to 230, free it, back all, and see what we get again. So if we play it, it's the same shit again and again and again. So okay, I'm gonna go on to material preview, and I'm going to render view. I'm going to open up a new window here, go to a shader editor, click and hit new, and I'm going to delete the principled BSDF. I'm going to add a principled volume shader. Okay, not to scatter. I need a principled volume, you know. I'm just going to grab it and connect it with the surface, and I'm going to play around. Why it's not changing? I got what happening right now. I don't know how to act with it. I think I'm gonna change the rendering to cycles, and let's see how we can fix it. I'm gonna add an HDRI. Click open and open up one of the HDRI that you like. I'm just gonna go for this one for now, and I'm gonna make it denoise. Why it's not bringing the smoke? I'm gonna increase. Oh, I think I messed up something in material. I'm going to go to material view. It's actually connected to surface, connected to the volume. That's why it was not bringing me the smoke that I wanted, you know. So now if I turn these off, move along, and as you can see, it's now bringing the smoke because actually I messed up with materials. So the smoke is here, but I don't think it's the perfect smoke we want. We're going to change it so much. I'm actually recording every single problem that I'm encountering in this one while making it. So I'm going to the domain setting, free it all, and I'm going to make the ending to 190. And again, I'm trying to bake it 182. Let's bake it again. I hope that we get the same result that we are looking for. But if it's not working, we have another way to fix the moving problem, which is actually materials or the shaders, which can actually fix this problem. So as you can see, okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to do it with the shader, because it's not disappearing while the simulations ends. So what we're going to do, I'm gonna make the color white, and I'm gonna decrease the density a little bit down, like that. So I'm going to frame number 160 and hit I on the density, and then go to frame number 180 and then make the density 0, and then again click I. And as you can see, it is fine. I'm gonna go to render, film, and make it totally transparent. And okay, so if we play it, it's actually working, as you can see. Yeah, I'm going to change the HDRI. I will also put the link to the same HDRI that I'm using for the shot. So yeah, that's fine. And I think we are done with the first one, which is actually pretty fine. It's actually acting very good, and this is what we want. Go to solid view, and we are going to do something same for the second bottle. So I'm going to go to edit mode of this bottle and hit tab, and then select this one, and shift A is cursor to selected. Shift A, I'm gonna add a mesh, which is an icosphere. Scale it down like that. Okay, so after that I'm gonna apply the scale, all transform, and make the origin to center. And then I'm going to select the bottle, maybe, and hit Control P, keep transform. And I'm just doing the same step for this one. I'm going to select the icosphere, or maybe I can scale up the domain object. I'm going to free it all, and I'm going to scale it up so it will contain both of the simulations here. I'm going to select the icosphere, and I'm going to move to the particle system, and then add a new particle. I'm going to use the same particle for this one also, and then I'm going to just change the velocity of the particles from the negative axis. I'm just going to rotate the icosphere so it faces the same axis, and I'm going to do so. I'm gonna make the positive y-axis to the direction where it faces, like that. And then I'm going to go to scroll down and make the y to the positive value or something like 0.9, and click back. It will back the particle. And then go to physics, fluid, add a flow, it's a smoke, make it a particle system, add the same particle system, and then change the. Okay, so now let's click back. Okay, so it's backed, and as you can see, we do have a smoke, but the smoke is not so much, because the behavior is set to. I'm just going to turn off the particle. So actually you can see the second one is not releasing so much smoke. It's because its behavior is set to geometry. So I'm gonna change it from geometry to inflow, so it will emit more smoke as the first one do. I'm gonna free it all, and again I'm gonna bake it all and see what we get. So as you can see, we have so much smoke, and this is what we want. And now if we go to camera view and just go to render view and see what we get. So as you can see, we got a perfect smoke, and yeah, that's fine. And okay, so I'm going to turn this on and see what we get in material view. Okay, so now it's time to set up this background layer. So I'm just doing it right away. Go to world setting. I'm just gonna change the rotation of the HDRI. Oh, actually, the HDRI is overcast, so I'm gonna make another HDRI, which is actually a sun from the side, and I'm going to rotate it like that. Go to camera view, and I'm going to slide rotate it. I'm going to render view, and yeah, it does look good. And now, okay, so I'm just gonna select the background layer, go to edit mode, and I'm going to select those faces, and I'm going to add the two materials. One is for the inside and another one is for holdout. So I'm just gonna assign the second material to the selected faces, which is a holdout material. And if I go to render view, as you can see, we have disappeared everything behind that. So I'm just gonna make the starting frame to 1, so we will be able. Okay, so when the cup moves down, as you can see, we can see it in the downward face. I'm gonna go to edit mode, edge selection, and then I will select the downward edge. I'm gonna move it down like that until we get the perfect result. Edit mode, get it down slightly, and that's it. And now we are about to finish this, and it is a great experience. And yeah, you have saw some vegetation growing uh, on the trophy, which is actually very easy to achieve. I have already made so many tutorial. I'm just gonna play around with the strength of the world. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, that's good. Fine. And we are about to finish this. I'm gonna make the strength to 2, or maybe I'm gonna make it 2 and save it. Okay, so I have made a bunch of tutorial on how to aid vegetations into a trophy like that. I will also put the link to the tutorials, which are pretty easy to follow. I'm just gonna show you which tutorial I made. So I'm going to go to my channel. Here we go. I'm going to go to videos. Okay, so I have made a tutorial on how to grow some sort of vegetation in your live scene, as the tutorial is here. I have also made tutorial on compositing, how to composite them in the final stages, and I also made a special tutorial to how to grow vegetations on something like that, which is pretty easy to achieve. So I'm gonna put the link to the same video, and thanks for watching. If you are interested, consider subscribe. Thank you.